I've had this board banging around for a while. It's starting to get erased. I touched it up a little bit. It's kind of a rant. I haven't had the ranty energy to really do it, so it's been banging around for a month. And stick with me because I go on the other hand here and do a counter-rant at the end. Trendy buzzwords, trendy memes. So this is the rant. Mandela effect. That's what I really call BS on. Quantum, angels, ascension, dimensional shift. And then remember, the Christians with tribulation and judgment. I've seen various Christian groups claim the end of the world, in the last 20 or 30 years. That the end of the world was coming at such date. I've seen at least 4 of those go by. End of the world predictions. Yeah, the end is the world is going to end someday. The consciousness is constantly evolving. But are we likely to see a big scene change in this lifetime? I'm skeptical. On the other hand, I tell people, don't pee in the woo. In other words, even if you think someone is way out there on something, don't just piss on their idea right away. Try to understand what they're talking about. Try to understand where they're coming from. Try to understand what they've experienced. Try to understand the verbiage that they're using. Don't just blow it offhand. So don't pee in the woo. Don't rain on their parade. Don't be a Debbie Downer on somebody. If it seems to be working for them and they're hip into it. I'm guilty of this at times too. I've got a friend who's really into this one channel I'm not too enthused with, and I'm a nice guy and all that, but I just don't see the message having any weight to it. At any rate, she's kind of mad at me for that. So yeah, don't rain on people's parades when they're high on something. If they're really high on an idea, don't just trounce their idea, even if you think you can. Even if you think you're right to. Don't rain on their parade, especially if you're lacking proof. Now, in the the lucid dreaming community, I went online. I was looking at this guy's site. I won't say his name. I can't remember it anybody offhand. But he was saying, he's basically an atheist. He's really into lucid dreaming and all that, but he's real scientific about it. Oh, and he was really grabbing on this one point on lucid dreaming. It was actually more about ontology, and it really made no difference to lucid dreaming. And it's really nothing he could prove or disprove. And yet he was making a big thing, trying to make people look like an idiot for believing what they believed, where he has no way to prove it either. So I guess I almost need to bring in a specific example, but some people get so pedagogical about things, and I'm guilty of all this myself. Thinking too rigidly on certain ideas, and so don't pee in the woo. As for some of these, the quantum, there's a quantum effect, and it's very, physics it's a very deep thing in physics, and the way people toss it around and use it as a cure-all for everything, an explain thing for everything, just saying it's just quantum, it's like a magic thing. A lot of abuse of that term. Mandela effect, well, Mandela was reported killed in prison twice during his stay in prison, and that's what people remember him dying in prison. He never died in prison. He was reported to die in prison twice. And I remember that. I was a talk radio guy all my life back then, and I remember hearing the reports of him dying. The first time, it got dismissed really quickly. And the second time, it kind of lagged. The government was in chaos, and the news kind of lagged that it was just BS. So that one kind of stayed in the media. The other one got swatted down almost instantly. So they were real big things in the media, but people remember those, and they say, "Oh, he did die. Oh, I do remember 2 ways. How do I remember 2 ways?" And then people bring up the example of the guy who never worked for worked for Reader's Digest, not Publishers Clearinghouse, and everybody pins him with Publishers Clearinghouse. And it just doesn't make. It's just people commingling facts. This is nothing to it. Just endless examples of BS under the Mandela effect, I'm afraid. I'm not to say there isn't, something to analytics. Been having a little bit of that myself lately. Parallel dimensions. I don't really know what to do with that. I'm not going to pee on that one either. But yeah, some people are really junky about some of these terms. Angels. Do I believe in angels? Well, I think there probably is something to that. But some people are just angel this, angel that. The point of the unicorns farting rainbow type thing. Ascension and dimensional shift. I don't know. Something is happening lately, at least with my group, and it tends to be if you're in a group of people, and there's a change within that group, you tend to think the whole world is changing, and maybe the whole world isn't changing or not changing much. Maybe it's a movement in your group more than the whole world, or maybe it's a movement within yourself, not the whole world. A lot of people, predict the ends and dire ends of the world. There was some guy on YouTube a while back, this kid, I kind of liked him until he started all this doom and gloom stuff, and none of his stuff happened. The world was going to end shortly. This was years and years ago. It was kind of sad to see that. He was a guy who did some of the kinetic pushing and stuff too. He had some interesting stuff, but then he just kind of went off the reservation, and again, I don't want to pee in the woo, but sometimes people get so far out there, you do have to kind of let it go. If the bullshit detector keeps going off, so that sometimes you got to run. But normally, my modus operandi is to open up, see what they're saying, try to understand how and why they're saying it. I give people even if they're saying something kind of crazy to me, I suspend my disbelief. I give them the benefit of the doubt as long as I can, that there's something to what they're saying. And a lot of times, someone can be saying what sounds crazy until you understand their verbiage correctly, and maybe it wasn't so crazy after all.